What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk here, back with another video. Now today we're going to be looking at the 2019 NHL Draft Lottery. Now we're going to be checking out the odds, and don't worry, the prospects like, you know, Jack Hughes and Capo Caco, which I don't think I've said in a video before, all that stuff like that, going through prospects and doing mock drafts and stuff, that'll be in other videos. I'm going to be preparing a lot of videos towards the NHL Draft coming up very soon. A lot of people don't really realize that I follow a lot of that stuff, and I don't usually make videos on it, but all that stuff is going to be coming very soon to this channel. And also this background and stuff like that, I know a lot of people don't like it, but I don't either, to be honest with you. A lot more videos will be filmed in the set that I usually use, but I'm trying to get new lights and stuff like that because it's just not up to par, and it's not working for me right now. So I'm going to be using that setup way more often other than this. But for today, we're going to be checking out the NHL Draft Lottery odds for 2019. Now this is a very exciting time of the year when it comes to the Draft Lottery odds and, you know, the tankathons and seeing if, you know, you can run the simulator and see if your team gets a top pick. This is fun for a lot of, you know, teams that aren't in the playoff race at this point. And, you know, you get to play around with the simulators, see if your team's going to acquire a first overall selection. But with the new odds and stuff like that, any team that's, you know, in the top 10 or 15, I guess, has a chance. So we're going to look at these Draft Lottery odds. So Colorado, the Colorado Avalanche right now have the best odds because of the Matt Duchene trade, where they sent Matt Duchene to Ottawa a couple years ago, and you know, there were some stipulations on the pick and stuff like that. So Ottawa traded a first to Colorado, and they had the option to give it to them last year, but instead they kept their pick, and they took Tkachuk, and now they have to give up their pick this year to Colorado. And right now they have Colorado has the best odds because Ottawa has been really bad this year. At the time I'm making this video, it is March 26th at 12 p.m. noon. So again, this could change whenever you're watching this, but right now they have an 18.5% chance at the #1 pick, which isn't crazy odds considering that we've seen way better odds before. But anything can happen, and honestly, if you have a pick in the first round, you're usually going to pick up a pretty decent player. But as we know, there's hidden gems all over the draft. But again, #1, Colorado has the best odds. #2 is the Los Angeles Kings. They have a 13.5% chance, and I believe they have multiple firsts. I know the Toronto Maple Leafs sent them one for Jake Muzzin, so we'll have to see what happens there. But it's more than likely going to be a late, you know, 25 to 27 pick. Anyways, yeah, Los Angeles 13.5% chance, so they have the second best odds currently. Detroit 11.5% chance. They're in third. New Jersey in fourth with a 9.5% chance. That's another team I'm going to be focusing on. I want to talk about the Devils coming up pretty soon because I have some ideas, and I have a lot of ideas for videos coming up, so stay tuned for that stuff. The Anaheim Ducks, which is a huge surprise because they were doing quite well at one point this year. I did not expect them to be a team that would be fighting for the draft lottery at this point. Anyways, they have the fifth best odds, 8.5%. And then you're starting to get to the 7.5, New York Rangers, Buffalo 6.5. Again, Buffalo, kind of disappointing. Hopefully they can keep Skinner around. They're going to have to pay him some big money. And again, that's another video I'm going to be making. Vancouver around 6%, Edmonton 5%. Could you imagine if the Edmonton Oilers get into the top 3 again, or somehow get the first overall selection? Like, people would be going nuts. Like, Edmonton was winning these draft lotteries like crazy. They were getting first overall selections. They were getting at least, you know, in the top 5, top 3. And, you know, so obviously a lot of those picks haven't worked out, but the Connor McDavid one, of course, has worked out. Yeah, you know, we got Vancouver in there. Like I said, Chicago, Edmonton, Buffalo, New York. Like, you're seeing a lot of these teams are kind of out of it at this point, or just plain out of the playoffs. You know, Columbus is sitting in the 15 spot with a 1% chance. Could you imagine if Columbus misses the playoffs? Philadelphia at a 1.5%, Arizona 2%, Florida 2.5%, Minnesota 3%, Chicago 3.5%. So it's kind of jumbled up there. When I ran the simulator, because I ran it a couple times, I kept getting the LA Kings. So that's interesting. We'll have to see if the Kings end up with that first overall selection. But I think Colorado getting it would be kind of fun. Based off the fact that, first of all, Ottawa fans would probably be pretty upset. And I'm not saying that that's fun, but I'm just saying that it's going to change the narrative of, you know, how many teams are really willing to give up these picks or to get, you know, a player if they don't feel like they're really all in. Like, I think Ottawa, you know, I know they wanted to improve their roster and they thought Duchesne was going to be really good for them, which he kind of was, but they didn't do what they needed to do as a team. It might change teams' narratives on maybe not going for a player if they don't feel like they really have a chance to do something, because those first round picks can turn around and bite you if you end up in a top 3 or top 5 selection. Detroit, I think, really needs this. New Jersey, that would be very interesting, you know, to go with Heischer and Taylor Hall. Again, I'm going to be making videos on this, on New Jersey specifically, coming up. And a lot of teams, actually, that aren't in the playoff race. But Edmonton would be, I think that'd be crazy. I think a lot of people would just not be happy with that. And I think the Oilers need it, though. So if they got in the top 5, I don't think I'd be too angry. Sorry, I'm looking over here because that's where all the odds are. But I don't want to drag this video on too long. I just want to kind of give my thoughts on which teams I thought might have had a chance, and give my general thoughts on just looking at some of these teams and thinking they could have been at a completely different spot. Like Colorado, the pick from Ottawa, of course, we expected them to be where they're at, I think, or at least a fringe playoff team. Ottawa, definitely not in the playoffs. But Colorado could really beef up their team. Los Angeles, they weren't going to be very good this year, although they got Kovalchuk and a couple other pieces. They thought they were going to be better. Detroit, we kind of knew they weren't going to be very good. New Jersey kind of fell off. Anaheim fell off. The Rangers, we knew they were rebuilding. Buffalo, they fell off, quite frankly. They were doing quite well this year. Vancouver's been a cool team to watch this year. I think fans are kind of happy with where they're at. The Oilers definitely not where they needed to be. Chicago kind of not where they needed to be. Minnesota definitely not really where they want to be. They're not a selling team right now, but they're not a playoff team either. Florida kind of where we expected. Arizona kind of did pretty good this year. Philadelphia not where they wanted to be. Columbus currently is not where they want to be. So again, I'm recording this on March 26th, and it's around 1 p.m. or 12:40 p.m. right now. So if you're watching this at a different date and these odds have changed, leave your thoughts down below. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Lots more NHL content is coming up, so hopefully you'll subscribe onto the channel. If you're new, make sure to subscribe because we're so close to 5,000. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Peace.